we're going to get much snow coming back, but I mean, there's always maybe a blip out of nowhere that'll happen. I don't know.
So how
We'll
are the
see.
winds right now? They picking up?
Winds, a little. I mean, not too much, but I mean, it's pretty average for this time of the year. So,
Okay. I was talking about today, right now.
oh yeah, I know winds are a little picked up a little bit.
Okay,
but-
good. Let's get started. The Soil and Water Conservation District Office, your first talking point.
Yeah. So our director election, we actually had that last Wednesday. We had three directors up for election, and now there's three directors that got reelected. That'd be Jeff Dietz, Jay Dirks, and Brian Langloss. So if anyone was curious about who got elected, that's the three that got reelected. So then we have our new board, and if you ever want to, view more information, you can look at our website too at whitesidecounty.swcd.com, since that kind of includes, all their roles and stuff, and we'll have to update that eventually as well. But we also have our newsletter, our winter newsletter that we released recently. So if you want to get that, you can send us an email or come into the office and ask us for like a copy of it in the like through email, because it's a electronic newsletter essentially.
Do you put that together, Blake?
Yeah, yep. I mean, it's been. I try and include some newer things. I've been getting better with trying to mix up some things and add some new stuff. But yeah, it's been for the most part pretty similar.
Is this something you do quarterly or monthly, or how do you do that?
Biannually. So once in the
okay.
summer, once in the winter.
Okay.
So usually it's also coincides with like our sale, like our tree and fish sales stuff. So then we can kind of attach that to there, so then people can order, straight from the newsletter. But speaking of, I mean, we have our tree, fish, and plant sales out. So if you want some of those, you can contact us and get those too.
Species of the month.
Yeah, I know I had mentioned maybe doing this for like the New Year's resolutions or whatever, kind of learning new species, and I thought I'd kind of start off simple with the red fox. I mean, a lot of people know, what the red fox is, and it's kind of a local thing, but the scientific name for the red fox is Vulpes vulpes, and sometimes they can be confused with gray foxes, but the main indicator to tell the difference between the two would be looking at the tail. Usually red foxes have a nice big white spot, and a gray fox has a black spot on the very tip. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing to look at, because red foxes, usually when they first are born, they are gray. So usually you can't really tell if they're a red fox just by the color. But also they have usually they're found in like most of America with a diet of rabbits and rodents, and sometimes they'll like eat some like fruits and stuff like that. So they have a pretty wide variety of diet, but it's also interesting because they're part of the canine family, but they have really cat-like adaptations. So like those long whiskers, and they're really agile compared to like a normal like house dog or something like that. Like they're not like fumbling around. They're pretty agile with their movements and everything. So they're kind of cat-like in a way. But yeah, there's also a study that I had to do a report on in college about, and it was really interesting because it was in Scandinavia, and there was a study of body weight and limb thickness. So then you could see how, like in the farther northern regions, they have like longer legs or something like that, because they need it for pouncing on like prey in the snow. So then they can get longer legs so they can get through all that snow. So like. And I know in the other radio show, there was also like talking about humans in the northern regions and how they usually have like longer legs too, because they have to trample through all the snow and stuff like that too. So usually they're like taller and stuff like that.
We're talking with Blake from Whiteside County. Antler hunting.
Yeah, so antler hunting has been picking up recently in popularity, and it's a good time to be looking for them. So if you're just ever out looking like in a woodland area, or if you're a hunter, where deer are usually. If you think there's a spot where there would be a deer, then you can just go look and on the ground for some deer antlers. But yeah, it's also a good indicator to see if there's any rubbing on trees, because that can kind of dislodge some stuff in their antlers, because usually they know the time they start constricting their blood flow, and then it just pops off. But that rubbing on trees can usually help, dislodge any of that extra matter in between there, and you can eventually find some on the ground. But it's always good to bring some water and some snacks and a good pair of walking boots if you're going out hunting solely just for this, like, because it could be a whole day of just walking all the time. Like, you can walk multiple miles, and from what I've heard, it's like some people go out and find like 6 in a day from walking so many miles, and it's like, geez, yeah, no, it's definitely worth it to bring something, no matter how fit you are. Just make sure you have that.
So what do they do with these? I mean, why is it gaining in popularity?
Well, because it's a good way to like, you can just like sell them for like antiques, stuff like that, like decor, stuff like that. And also, like, if you're not interested in strictly like hunting deer, but you're into like that aesthetic, you can mount the antlers just by themselves. So like for people who want to be more, I guess, not like go out and kill a deer, they don't want to deal with that, they can just find the antlers, since it doesn't harm them. So
have you done this?
No, I haven't been lucky enough to find any, but I've been in areas where there could be some, but I haven't unlocked. I found like some deer skulls and like some coyote skulls, but not any deer antlers though.
So do you keep those?
No, I just kind of leave them there because it's also good for like the soil too, because I mean it's all the like. I think it's calcium and like all the extra minerals in there that helps, which I mean it's not much, but it's something. But like, and plus it wasn't really that good a quality anyway, so it's like all broken up and like in pieces everywhere, so it's just like no thanks.
So prime time for mating season.
Yeah, it's been a really good time for this. Typically for raccoons, this is their prime time, but usually they can go anywhere from January to June. But the raccoons are looking for warm spots. So like if they're in the cold and they are mating, then they're gonna want like good place for their kits. So like looking at insulation and housing. So like I've seen people with like raccoons in their walls. So it's like if you ever hear any noises coming from your walls, that could be a possibility. I'm just throwing it in there. But yeah, we have a bunch of other species such as like rabbits, squirrels, bobcats, the red fox, minks, and possums that are all breeding right now. So their hunting season pretty much ends February 15th. They're trapping and hunting. So then that's pretty much why they kind of cut off that part of the season, since they're vulnerable during this time. So
that's a good idea. Again, visiting with Blake at Whiteside County. We catch up with him on the second Tuesday of every month. Now, seed storage. Talk about this.
Yeah, so seed storage, this is a good time to buy seed. I mean, I know people are usually asking, when do I buy seed? When you get it to, in prep for when you're going to start seeding. Now would be a good time because, you're getting more species availability from stores and areas. So buying early can be an advantage to making sure you have that seed ready for seeding. But when you buy it, make sure you have it in a cool, dry, dark place with little fluctuation in temperature. Because if you have seed that's like been stored in like a cool area and then it starts getting warm again, well then it's thinking it's at a dormancy, essentially.
So are these seeds for like flowers or gardens, or what are we talking
it
here?
could pretty much be anything, but this I would say mostly is for like prairie seed. So like tall grass prairie, short grasses, anything like that. Because like or even like food plot seed for like deer. It's important that they don't have a lot of temperature changes, because then it's essentially going to get killed straight away, because it thinks it's in wintertime. So it's just important.
Is this available at feed stores, or where would you get these seeds?
You can get like tall grass seed from like Pheasants Forever, or I think there's a native seed nursery, I think it might be called. But yeah, we mostly get ours from like Green Cover Seed and Pheasants Forever, and you can buy them on the website, just like I do. But usually it helps us if you buy straight from us too, because people have CRP land and they're like, I need this CRP, and then I can just look at their job sheet what they need and then I can buy it for them, and then just tell them when it's there.
So it is available at your district office then?
Yeah, if you want to buy through us, you can buy through us too.
Oh, okay, okay. Look out for burns.
Yeah, so if you're seeing a bunch of smoke around land, it's not too much of a worry. I mean, don't be panicking immediately because, someone could be burning. So, a lot of landowners might be doing it during this time, especially because there's a lack of snow. So, it's always important to be looking out at that, but I mean, it could be a possibility. But it is a good time to do this since it would be avoiding a lot of wildlife, since, during the springtime, there's a lot of new wildlife coming in. There's a lot of, small organisms in the soil. But doing it now would be a great time because you're not essentially killing off that wildlife and you're getting the benefits of a burn.
Today might not be a good day, though, with northwest winds, maybe gusting to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that
too
would not
much.
be a good idea.
Yeah, no, too strong winds, too big of a fire.
Yes, and our final talking point is, am I saying this right? SLOSS debate?
Yeah, SLOSS. Yep, SLOSS. So the first time I had never heard about this before college, actually, and to me it's a really interesting debate that's been around for a very long time. I believe since the 80s, and it's never been really solved or really been pointed out directly and more beneficial one way. But it basically stands for single large or several small, which we're basically talking about little plots of land. So you can either have one super big area or a bunch of small plots. Like, which one would be better for like habitat or biodiversity? And usually there's not really a good answer to that. So conservationists all over have been kind of like, what's better, what's worse? We don't know. But in the single large, there's like more room for predators, usually more resources. An endemic species, usually endemic means like rare in a way, like a rare species. But they have a better chance because of small population sizes. Larger populations have less extinction risk. I mean, that's just a couple things. And then the several small one has more separation, so they'd have more like diverse populations, I guess. And then also being more resilient to like a mass extinction event since there's multiple other plots, so they're not all going to die off in one go. But in the end, it's all to say basically that we'll get what we can get for habitat and land. So, I mean, we can't grab everything and then, that's just a matter of what we have. So
we're going to catch up with you again on March 10th. If people would like to find out more information about the topics that we have gone over or to find out more about the Soil and Water Conservation District, how can they best do that?
They can do that by coming into the office at 400 Wilkins Drive, Morrison, Illinois. Otherwise, they can go to our email at whitesidecountyswcd@hotmail.com. Or go to our website at whitesidecountyswcd.com. I think that's also our phone, 815-772-2124, extension 3, and I think that's mostly it.
All right, Blake, hey, thank you so much. We'll catch up with you again next month.
All righty, thank you.
Hi, this is Margot Hansen. Plan to join me every Saturday morning at 9:15 for the Great Green Garden Show. I'll have the information on how you can have the beautiful lawn and garden you've always wanted. Plus, I'll take your calls.